The MCU is packed with ancient artifacts, and one of the most powerful ones in the multiverse is the Darkhold, an ancient book of dark magic, forbidden knowledge, and all things bad and ugly. It was created by Chthon, an ancient demon who commanded immense magical power. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, Darkhold. The first time we see the Darkhold is when Joseph and Lucy Bauer find it in a basement which eerily resembles somewhere Johnny Blaze would live, but that's probably an Easter egg. Their partner, Eli Morrow, a scientist from Momentum Labs, becomes obsessed with finding it after he witnesses an experiment to create carbon out of thin air with seemingly a blast of energy. Joseph and Lucy informed him that the experiment was powered by the Darkhold, which inspired him to start his hunt, which eventually ended with him turning Lucy Bauer and other scientists into ghost-like beings through a quantum particle generator. He also managed to put her husband in a coma immediately after, an act which earned him serious jail time. However, it also made him a sitting duck for Lucy Bauer, who now has controlled her ghostly powers and can walk through walls to invade South Ridge Penitentiary. He was captured here by Lucy Bauer and taken to the Pasadena Momentum Library, where the Darkhold is waiting. Lucy believes the book holds the secret to reversing her ghost-like state and bringing her back to the world of the living. Eli plays along, but here's the twist. He never wanted to save Lucy. He wanted the book all for himself. When Lucy forces him to read from the Darkhold, Eli realizes that it contains not only the secrets of quantum energy, but the power to create matter from nothing. This becomes his obsession. In the meantime, Phil Coulson and Robbie Reyes infiltrate the facility to retrieve Eli, which prompts Lucy to go take care of them. She encounters Robbie Reyes while Coulson finds Eli, and when he does, Eli refuses Coulson's rescue. He's too close to making the Darkhold his own. While the Ghost Rider incinerates Lucy for her crimes as a ghost, Eli uses the knowledge he obtained from the book, modifying the particle generator the Bauers had been building. Instead of creating energy, he rigs it to channel quantum power into himself, leaving him the sole possessor of the Darkhold's secrets. And it works. He emerges with the terrifying ability to conjure solid carbon out of thin air, forming deadly spikes and weapons at will. From here, his ambitions spiral out of control. He calls himself a creator, a god, as he takes over Momentum Labs and enslaves the surviving scientists to construct a massive quantum bomb. His plan? To generate unlimited matter, reshaping the world however he sees fit. The only one left who can stop him is Ghost Rider and his Hellfire, which can harm those who have been corrupted by the Darkhold's power. In the finale of Season 4, we see him go up against his uncle and eventually take his life, leaving the Darkhold in S.H.I.E.L.D. custody. Eli's not the only person to notice its potential power. S.H.I.E.L.D. scientist Dr. Holden Radcliffe would eventually use it to reprogram the Framework, a virtual simulation system designed by S.H.I.E.L.D. to train agents through VR without risk of injury. The Darkhold displayed its incredible reality warping abilities when Radcliffe used it to create a version of the Framework that could recreate all of modern-day Earth virtually. It could even let people live out entirely alternate lives within a digital reality, such as Radcliffe's case. He lived out an entire relationship with their deceased partner, Agnes Kitsworth. With the ability to shape reality like that, the book stands as one of the most powerful artifacts ever shown in the MCU, which is exactly why the Ghost Rider took it with him to the Dark Dimension, never to be seen again. Runaways Darkhold. Morgana, once a powerful enchantress tied to Arthurian legend, was exiled to the Dark Dimension for her conquests. There, she encountered the Darkhold, which whispered its spells and strengthened her dark magic. By the time the Runaways crossed paths with her, Morgan was using the book as both a weapon and a tether, allowing her to breach the walls of reality and project her will onto Earth. With the Darkhold, she bent technology to her control, manipulated minds, and conjured illusions powerful enough to warp entire environments. Her ultimate goal was to merge the Dark Dimension with Earth, ruling as its queen. The Runaways only managed to stop her by severing her connection to the book and banishing her once more. But her arc made it clear, the Darkhold is as old as legend itself, touching hands long before Eli Morrow ever saw its pages. WandaVision, Scarlet Witch. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Wanda Maximoff is crushed by grief. She's lost the love of her life Vision and even the future she dreamed of. Running away into a fantasy inside this bubble, reality is rewritten into a perfect suburban sitcom world where Vision is alive again and they're raising twin boys, Billy and Tommy. At first, it looks like Wanda is the sole architect of this illusion, but as the show unfolds, we discover that another witch has been drawn into the hex, Agatha Harkness. Unlike Wanda, Agatha is an ancient sorceress who has survived for centuries by draining the power of other magic users. In Episode 7, Agatha reveals her lair beneath her house, and in that basement sits the Darkhold. The book radiates a sinister energy, its pages filled with shifting runes and spells. Agatha explains that this is no ordinary grimoire. Within its pages, we learn more about Wanda's prophecy. According to the book, the Scarlet Witch is not born, but forged, and is a Nexus being who wields spontaneous creation and is destined to either rule or destroy the world. For Agatha, the Darkhold is the key to understanding what Wanda has become. She flips through its pages and identifies Wanda as the Scarlet Witch the prophecy foretold, a revelation that shakes Wanda to her core. The book becomes central to Agatha's plan. She wants Wanda to embrace her role as the Scarlet Witch so Agatha can siphon that chaos magic for herself. Their final battle in the skies above Westview is fought with this truth hanging over Wanda. When Wanda defeats Agatha, she doesn't destroy the Darkhold. Instead, she takes possession of it. In the series' post-credit scene, we see what prolonged exposure to the book looks like. It empowered Wanda to do something only the best sorcerers like Dr. Strange can: astral projecting while you're awake. As she flips through the Darkhold's pages, she suddenly hears the voices of Billy and Tommy crying out across the multiverse. The book doesn't just give her knowledge, it feeds her obsession, dangling the possibility of reuniting with her children. That's the seed of corruption that ties into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness, Darkhold. In the movie, Wanda becomes pretty hyper-fixated on finding Billy and Tommy, almost absurdly. And that's when we see yet another power of the Darkhold: mental manipulation. See, this book doesn't just influence you with evil desires, it preys on your strongest ones. For Wanda, that was her grief. The book convinces her that out there, in the multiverse, her children can still be found. The book grants Wanda access to one of its darkest spells: dreamwalking. This ability allows her to possess versions of herself across the multiverse, hijacking their bodies to achieve her goals. With it, Wanda can literally step into a reality where her children exist. But the practice is deeply unnatural, leaving devastation in its wake. Entire realities are destabilized as she tears through them, proving just how reckless the Darkhold's power really is. Doctor Strange first believes he's dealing with some demonic force, but quickly realizes Wanda herself is the threat. She attacks Camartage, slaughtering sorcerers with ruthless efficiency, and when Strange barely escapes with America Chavez, a girl who can open portals across the multiverse. Wanda uses her dreamwalking powers to hunt them. Still, one by one, the walls between universes are shattered, increasing the danger of a multiverse-wide apocalypse. But the Darkhold's influence isn't limited to Wanda. Strange himself briefly uses a copy of the book to counter her, and it leaves him scarred. The Darkhold amplifies ambition and desperation, and for Strange, it tempts him with the idea of bending reality to fix everything, just as it tempted Wanda. The danger of the book is universal. No matter who holds it, corruption is inevitable. In the middle of this chaos, the sorceress Sarah sacrifices her life to destroy the Earth. 616 copy of the Darkhold, which, as sad as it was, revealed something interesting about the book. When Sarah stabbed the book, the Darkhold burned her to a crisp, which suggests it can protect itself from threats. For a moment, it seems like Wanda's source of power is gone. But Wong, under duress, reveals a darker truth. Every Darkhold in every universe is just a copy. The original source of its spells, its true well of power, lies within Mount Wundagore. When Wanda arrives at Wundagore, she discovers the Darkhold Castle. With the power of Wundagore at her command, Wanda becomes virtually unstoppable. She slaughters the Illuminati of Earth 838 without hesitation, defeats Strange, and nearly steals America's multiversal abilities. But ultimately, the book's lies unravel. Wanda confronts Billy and Tommy in another universe, only to see the terror in their eyes. They see their mother's face, but not her warmth. Realizing what she has become, Wanda turns her power inward. She destroys the Wundagore Temple, erasing every copy of the Darkhold across the multiverse, and seemingly sacrifices herself in the process as the castle breaks down upon her. Whether Wanda truly died or not remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the Darkhold's reign ended with her. Its pages burned, its temples collapsed, and its god still lurking in the shadows. The question is, for how long?